You got the script?
Yeah. This is like 90% Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's a movie episode talking about Harry Potter.
But this is like all Harry Potter.
You don't think people want to hear about Harry Potter?
Yeah, but I feel like they would want to hear about other stuff too.
What is there more to talk about than Harry Potter?
Hundreds of thousands of movies. Harry Potter's good, but this is a lot of Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's getting a reboot. Harry Potter is life.
Look, okay.
Do 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 Nick squared. Do 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 Nick squared.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nick Squared podcast. I am young, hip Nick.
I'm the old man in the group, Nick the Elder.
We're here today with co-founder of Proact IT Solutions, Jay.
Yeah, that's close enough. That'll work.
That's what he wants his superhero title to be. Put that on a cape.
Yeah. He's come here to help us talk about movies.
Well, hold on. And who is he in relation to you?
Oh, he's my father-in-law.
All right, so tell us, how much do you hate Nick? It's okay.
Man, I love this guy.
That's a lie.
I love this
guy. Cut. That's a lie. Tell me the dirty secrets. The people want to know.
No, I was very critical of Ariel's boyfriends, and when she introduced me to Nick, I was like,
wow, she can do worse.
Yeah. I was like,
Thank God, this guy's a complete dweeb. He's never going to cheat on her.
that was it.
That was it.
I was like, this guy's stuck, man. He's not going to get any better than this, man. Let's go.
We dodged a bullet there. But no, so today's episode is all about movies. Movies we love, movies we hate, movies we didn't even see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen any movies this year. Other than streaming.
Okay. I'm about to say not a single movie. It's kind of weird. I feel like when I was young, when I was a kid, I feel like movies coming out, there wasn't a lot. Like, I feel like when a new movie came out, it was like once or twice a month. You had your big release weekends.
Yeah.
And now it's like every other day, it is movies, straight to DVD, straight to streaming, straight to this, straight to that.
More than you can finish in a year.
I feel like that. And I feel like everybody's now got a movie company out. There's just, like, I remember MGM was big, Disney. You get like your couple of big people. Now it's, I go to sit down and watch a movie and I got to sit through 14 promotional logos flashing on the screen, brought to you by this guy and that guy and also this guy and this guy over here. And these three people made this movie
too.
There's
a lot of executive producers now.
Yeah, that title used to mean something. Now everybody's an executive producer.
Well, it usually lines up with the first 10 actors.
Yeah.
You'll see the same
actors make their movies now.
I wonder if they made enough money and they're like, I want to do a movie like this, and everyone was like, no, and they were like,
we're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway.
We'll do it. Now it does work out sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So I think Ryan Reynolds has a big part to play in the Deadpool movies, and
yeah, they've been good.
They've been very good.
Yeah. You guys ever heard of A24?
No.
Now that's a movie studio that says yes to their creators. You know A24 movies, right? Like The Lighthouse, The Witch, Hereditary.
Oh no, I know Hereditary.
Yeah, they just say yes. They say, you want to make this? Yeah.
They're the Nicolas Cage of production companies.
Have you seen The Northman?
Yes.
See, they just let their creatives do what they want. Oh, I love that movie. The first half made me want to do push-ups.
It was alright. First half was good.
Got a little weird for you?
It got weird, but I also felt bad that Skarsgård had to walk around like this
my neck hurt after watching that movie.
And if you passed by, you just saw how hunched over he was. And I was like, man, that's got to be killer on your back. But no, so I'm sure, I know we talked a little bit before the episode, movie trailers. I used to be really big into movie trailers.
Like, that used to be how you found out about movies.
Yeah. Like I would get upset, Amber and I, when we were first dating, we weren't cool. We didn't have anything to do. So if we had a Saturday off, we would go to the mall and we would watch a movie at like 10 a.m. and then leave the movie theater, go have lunch at the food court, walk around a little bit, go watch another movie at 2, come back out, walk around, have dinner or something, and then go watch a third movie. That was our That was our date
That's
day.
awesome.
And we would watch random movies that were like, I've never heard of this. Yeah, but we got 3 movies to watch. But I would get upset if we couldn't be there for the trailers. Because like you said, that's how you found out. Ooh, I want to see that or no.
Yeah, inevitably, I'm in the car with someone on the way to the theater, and they're like, "Hey, well, let's stop and get this." I'm like,
But we left right on.
No, we'll just miss the previews. I'm like, miss the previews?
Let's just miss the end of the movie. Why don't we?
Drove me crazy. Yeah, I love previews.
I love big fan of previews, but now, and I remember when the Star Wars Force Awakens came out, they announced that there were going to be a trailer release like 2 weeks out, and I ran to work and I told everybody I knew, Force Awakens trailer. We got a Force Awakens trailer. I was pumped, and the first time I saw the trailer, and you're watching the TIE Fighter chase the Millennium Falcon, and you're watching it do that drift move off to the side, and you're hearing the noises. It was awesome. Then I watched people's reactions to the trailer. I watched people crying as they watched it. I think Kevin Smith cries at everything Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so he releases a video, hashtag Kevin Smith. He released a video of him crying watching it, so I cried with him. I was like, it's
He gets
awesome.
emotional about Star Wars.
Yeah, because it's great.
It is.
It's great.
Have you noticed that there's trailers for trailers now?
No, what?
Like they'll show a trailer that says trailer in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they'll
Oh.
show clips. Like, why? Why don't you just release the trailer?
I didn't. I always thought they were just releasing another trailer.
Well, here's the thing. Now you get money off of YouTube. So they get money from their trailers.
We broke a 30-second trailer up into 4 bits. Continue for part 2.
Yeah, they'll get 8 million views on a trailer. That's money. That's ad money.
I miss trailers that had the voiceover.
Oh, yeah, the voiceover guy?
In a world.
In a world.
In a world.
And they don't have that anymore.
We all had to hit it.
No.
But now you watch trailers and it's usually explosions and then somebody just staring off.
Yeah.
And then more explosions.
Yes.
Coming fall. Transformers 97.
Well, you can. One thing I do like to do, because I'm trying to introduce Beth to the classic movies, like Xanadu and things like that. And I love to pull up the preview so that she can get a little taste of what it is. And it's just so dated.
Oh, yeah. Trailers pre-1990 are wild.
Yes. Well, now, how many of y'all have watched a trailer where you're like, this trailer looks fantastic. This is all I know of the movie. I'm not going to research anything out. This is it. This is all I know is this trailer. You go watch the movie and you realize every good thing about that movie.
Happens all the time now.
Yes.
Yeah. It used to not give away too much.
Yeah.
And I think other super nerds have really ruined it as well, because they'll be like, Star Wars trailer dropped, and then 30 minutes later they post a YouTube video. I went frame by frame, and here's the little hidden eggs. Look at this guy's foot over here. Because like when Mandalorian came out and they found that guy standing off in the back one of the episodes, I watched the episode 3 times and didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I watched it frame by frame. You had nothing better to do than to watch this frame by frame?
Just watch the TV show, man.
Just enjoy it.
Enjoy things.
Yeah, it's what to shake my finger at the young people today. Just enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
But now I don't watch trailers nearly as much anymore. I don't care.
Too much can be given away, first off.
Yeah.
I know that's Beth's general rule, is like she doesn't like to watch trailers of a movie that she wants to go see. And I've started to adopt that because they really do. In some cases, there's major spoilers
Yep.
in the preview.
The problem is they've made the trailers an experience in of themselves, so they have to make the trailer entertaining on its own.
Yeah, or who's going to watch it?
Exactly, because before, a trailer was there to let you know the movie existed.
Yeah.
Now we all know the movie exists months, years ahead of time.
Well, I think they tried to get on the hype train too early, because now it's not a coming out this fall. We have a new movie. It's coming out in 3.5 years.
Exactly.
We just signed on our first writer. We have no script. We have no plot. We have no idea what we're doing, but coming to a theater near you.
Yeah, I mean...
2026.
2026.
And now people are sitting there waiting for the first images from this movie to see what a character looks like and something like that. That's a bit much.
And now you've got people that are sneaking phones onto sets. So you're seeing, like, look at this person. And I mean, they're dialing it down. I remember when, what was it? The Spider-Man movie. Was it not No Way Home? Was it No Way Home?
Yeah, No Way Home.
And they saw, was it Andrew Garfield land in an airport near where they were filming.
And they're like, no, got him. Got the guy.
Took pictures of him. And I'm like, you're ruining this for everybody. Like,
how cool would it have been if you had no idea?
if you had no idea.
That's the thing. There's no moments that you have no idea anymore.
So Tyler Perry, I think he bought what used to be the military base. I think he bought Fort McPherson. And I don't think he's doing it anymore, but he had this idea because it's already this giant military base with an airfield and everything's fenced in and stuff. And well, his idea was to put a hotel there and a few restaurants and put movie sets in the hangars to where famous people could fly in, stay completely away from the public,
Yeah.
film a movie in complete, seclusion, and then fly out, and nobody would ever know what they were doing.
That's cool.
I thought that was a neat idea, but then I also think, with today's climate, if you didn't have that, if you didn't have these random pictures circulating and going viral about your movie years before your movie came out, would anybody beside us old geezers want to go watch it?
I think part of it is marketed. I mean, all these leaks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, come
Right.
on.
Except for, what's the new Spider-Man's name? Toby? No. Andrew? No. What's the other? One more.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. I think he actually accidentally leaks everything. I think
he did it once.
He just got loose.
And I think they made that his whole thing after that. They really want... part of Marvel's strategy is to make you care about those actors.
sure.
Because,
I think, though, because I've watched interviews where he's been like, they don't even give me the full script. And I believe that to an extent.
it could be true. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm so untrustworthy when it comes to big media companies that it's like... Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've heard that Mark Hamill was told the reveal of Darth Vader being his father. They had filmed it to where it was him saying, Luke, I killed your father. And that's what they told...
Or Obi-Wan killed your father.
Or Obi-Wan, yeah. And that's what they told everybody. And then George brought him in right before they filmed it, and he said, I know. He knows. Now you're going to know. And we've known the whole time, and it hasn't gotten out. So if you say something, we know it got out from you. And then he said during the big reveal when they watched the movie that the cast all just turned and looked at him like, how could you not tell us? And I'm like, the days of those secrets are...
George held a gun to my head.
What do you want? He said he didn't have a choice.
He had a real lightsaber, right? There's nothing I could do.
But nowadays, I think that the moment they'd be like, oh, I'm going to tell you a secret, they go, hold on a second. Go ahead. I'm not recording.
Sorry, I'm looking at my
Go ahead.
reflection of the phone.
Yeah, go ahead. I promise this isn't already out on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm going viral right now. Go ahead. But I think it is. And I think one thing that I was talking with somebody at work about, they said that now, with the death of movie stars, movie stars aren't really a thing anymore. But you've even got people who randomly pop up on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook that one or two videos go viral, and they've got 10 million followers in a weekend. And now they're bigger than any star. People
know their name more than they know
they know these people's names. And I mean, you think about, the art of making movies and being an actor and an actress. And then you got people like the Kardashians and these other famous people where at the end of the day, what do you do?
What have they added?
What have you added? So, I don't know. But trailers, I used to get excited. Now I get surprised because I'll be doing something and it'll be like a trailer dropped. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were making this movie because I just ignored all of you people this entire time. But the Mario trailer. That was a good trailer.
It was a good trailer.
The second real trailer, I guess, it was even better. We got the Mario Kart. Yeah, Donkey Kong. You got me. It was a good trailer.
When does that come out?
I don't know.
I don't know.
4 years, 5 years. And even TV shows now that House of the Dragon, smashing success, and you ready for the next season? It's 2 years.
That devastated me when I learned that.
Why? What do you mean 2 years? Well, you all weren't making another one already?
Yeah.
No, they're like, we'll start in 6 months. Give us time. Now,
I know a lot of people will give, the Matrix trilogy, or it's not really a trilogy anymore.
Not anymore.
Right, 47 of them suckers.
It's still a trilogy. I refuse. Anyway.
But I just remember, waiting for years for part 2 to come out. And I just thought that was incredible that you had part 2 around, I think, the spring of that year. And by the fall, you had the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And while it lacked a lot of things, I thought that was phenomenal that they recorded both movies at the same time. I thought it was smart from an economic sense and from a fan sense that they would Oh, that was kind of new and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Lord of the Rings.
I
I
was
didn't.
about to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't appreciate it as much because I was a child when they came out, but looking back, we got to see a good Lord of the Rings movie every year for 3 years.
Yeah. And I mean, the cast, I remember a lot of them bought houses in New Zealand because they were like, we're here.
Yep.
And I've watched interviews where they're like, we filmed for 3 weeks, then we took 3 weeks off, and then I had to come back to reshoot a few things, and then other movies they're like, no, we're here for 8 months, filming 5 days a week, and it is nighttime scenes are filmed at night, daytime scenes are filmed during the day. But Lord of the Rings, I like being at location.
There was a purity to that trilogy that I still love. Just the cinematically.
And the thing about filming it all at once is it was so coherent.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had to go back and try to remember what did we do last, and it would just
had the same feeling. It felt hopeful throughout, unless it was intentionally feeling unhopeful.
Yeah.
Those movies were amazing. I can't find anything wrong with them.
No.
No.
But I also think them winning every award that's ever existed in the
literally
history.
sweeps.
Yeah, I think the moment they did that, they were all like, "Hey, when are we filming that next one?"
Why even have a ceremony at that point?
No. Coming up and
Yeah.
look at what we got, everything.
Yeah, immediately they were
then
like,
The Hobbit
"Let's
happened.
get started on The Hobbit."
Hey, I don't hate on the
If
Hobbit.
they would have made one movie, I think it would have turned out great.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been one.
It
movie.
wasn't the same,
No, it wasn't the same.
but it was still good.
Well,
Still good.
my biggest complaint with The Hobbit and with most movies nowadays is I feel like we rely on CG so
Way
much
too much.
Yeah.
that practical effects, like when we watched the first Iron Man, he had a chest plate on.
Yeah,
and,
Yes.
and
it looked metal.
it looked
real.
metal, it looked good. And then all the new ones, it's all CG.
Yeah.
And they're like, it looks so good. No, it looks
He
CG.
looks like that action figure right there,
Yeah.
as opposed to a big metal man.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Love the franchise. The more CG they get with the dinosaurs, the less I like it. There was something about watching the T-Rex come through the waterfall, and you saw the
Cool.
teeth moving around, the camera's shaking around, and people are screaming. I was like, oh my gosh, they made a dinosaur. And then now you watch the new ones, and the dinosaurs moving too smooth and too fast, and it's like, you and your computer programs. I really sound like I'm 97.
A little bit.
Darn kids and your computer dinosaurs. In my day,
we
we
need-
made dinosaurs.
We need more stop motion in movies today.
Pinocchio, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, have you seen it?
Guillermo del Toro's?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, just
It was
watch
good.
that. That was so good.
That was so out of left field because we just got the Tom Hanks Pinocchio, and one of
Was
those.
I watched 10 minutes, so I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
It was, but I saw Del Toro's Pinocchio. It popped up on Netflix, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch a Pinocchio, and I was hooked. My favorite scene is the one where they're running through like the circus people, and the camera is chasing Pinocchio, and you've got everybody's
Yes.
moving here and there. One guy's lifting weights, and I was like, how are they doing this? This is magic witchcraft.
Incredible stop motion.
Incredible.
I just
So
can't
good.
even, like, I would just be in awe at moments where I'm like, somebody,
Had to sit there and
And move it.
every
Yeah.
little thing, and the camera move, I mean, all this stuff.
Did you guys
Oh,
watch
it's
any of the
incredible.
behind the scenes stuff?
yeah.
Not yet. I haven't watched it
They
yet.
showed some of the sizes they made. One of the Pinocchio's head is like a ginormous,
Yeah,
like
'cause they
4
had
foot
to-
wide. Because it was the stuff with Jiminy Cricket, and so they're showing
Oh,
like they've got
Yeah.
Jiminy Cricket's that big, and so they've got this giant Pinocchio.
Well, they
head
can't
that
call
moving.
him that in the movie.
No, can't call him that. Can't
Sebastian.
Yeah.
call him.
Um,
That's weird how copyright certain things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can do this, you can't do that.
did you guys know that Kate Blanchett played the monkey in that movie?
What?
So we looked up because there was a couple of voices I recognized, and then I made the mistake of looking at the cast, and I was like, everybody is super famous.
Yeah.
Every single the monkey, the random animal noises, super famous person. He called in every favor from every A-list celebrity he could get.
Well, that's a South Park thing.
Yeah,
like
they
would just
Jay
have
Leno
someone.
played a cat.
They'd have somebody grunt, and that would be
Yeah.
someone famous.
Exactly.
Yeah. They did it with Vin Diesel and Groot.
Yep.
Mhm.
They said,
They
hey.
could have gotten anyone. voice actors. get screwed over in Hollywood all the time.
And I didn't realize how much it was till Freddie Prinze started being more vocal about it. Because he's the voice for the...
he's Kanan Jarrus in Rebels.
Yeah. And he was talking about how he had to almost go on strike. And they were like, oh, you want more money? And he was like, no, I want them to have more money.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting paid here.
No. It's rough being a voice actor.
And I will say, I feel like Vin Diesel, I don't know how much he got paid, but he should have gotten paid a whole lot. Because I found out that when they went back and did the other languages, they just had other people from that could speak these languages fluently do all the voice, except for him. He had to learn how to say "I am Groot" in different languages.
Yeah, and he did it.
He did it.
That's cool.
That's your only.
That reminds me. You know the movie Kung Fu Panda?
Do I know it? Do I love it?
Of
Yes.
Course, yeah. Jack Black's the main star. So they released that movie in China, and they flew Jack Black out there, and he's telling a story like he doesn't understand why he's there because he's not in that movie in China.
That is good.
Bring this other guy, the guy that actually voiced it. Like,
Exactly.
who's this guy?
They're taking pictures, being Jack Black.
He looks like the panda,
but he's not in the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's terrible. That's good writing. That is grade A writing. But no, I thought Pinocchio was fantastic.
it was good,
and it was like I said, it came out of left field. I didn't see anything for it, and we're talking about trailers. It was just every bit of it was pleasantly surprising.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it. I think we've watched it twice now. Good, just all around good movie.
I was literally trying to think of a movie that I enjoyed recently, and I watched that last week.
Yeah,
it was just an absolute joy to watch.
And in today's society, with these mega box offices, these huge movie releases, we've got to put all this money into this and that. We're talking about a stop motion Pinocchio that went straight to Netflix, as beating out 90% of them was a straight to Netflix. And I mean, I think once Stranger Things is off Netflix, I probably won't be spending a whole lot of time on Netflix,
right?
Because they keep making good shows and then canceling them.
Yeah, they just canceled one called 1899.
That was like in their top 10.
It was a planned trilogy,
and
it was their top 10 around the world, and canceled it after one season.
Did you guys ever watch Mindhunter?
Yes, they canceled that. Mindhunter. It had Jonathan Groff in it, and they interviewed serial killers.
Oh,
they
worked for Quantico.
It was supposed to be loosely inspired, but it was supposed to be them coining the phrase serial killers.
Yeah, it was them learning about that
and trying to see that there are patterns that people that would kill mass amounts of people. And then they investigated the Atlanta murder, where they had closed out, reopened the case because of the show. They're like, maybe we should look at this again. Phenomenal show, and then we're not doing it.
Canceled it.
Yeah, we're not.
Santa Clarita Diet. If anyone's hearing my voice, Change.com sign the petition to get Santa Clarita Diet its third season. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
And we're done.
Well, HBO Max had a couple series that I'm upset, like Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they canceled that still blows my mind, because I thought that was a
show.
phenomenal...
It was exploring the cooler points of that story than the movie did.
Yeah.
Well, and I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. It's no longer about ratings, because remember back in the day you had Sweeps Week, and you had shows that would get keyed in when Big Bang took over the network, and it was on every single night, and they would show 2 or 3 reruns, new episode, then 2 or 3 more reruns. When you had Walking Dead had the prime spot, then they did Talking Dead afterwards.
Yes.
Then they did what was the spinoff? Fear the Walking Dead. You had like 6 hours of Walking Dead on prime time. Mm-hmm. So I think that's gone now. We don't care about ratings like that on how many people tune in this moment to watch it. And I don't think it's about making a profit anymore. It's about making obscene profits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot of shows that get other seasons that are trash. And I think that whoever's making that probably knows somebody somewhere and are getting it's okay. But you're making us $8 million. We were really hoping to make $10 million. So we're going to have to let you go.
Yep.
You just weren't making enough profit. So that's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking.
I think you nailed it.
And now we're getting into some reboots that I don't think should happen. Some reboots, Firefly, that just won't happen.
Right. There's things that need to come back that aren't.
Yeah.
And things that should stay done.
Stay done.
Like,
Shut your face.
go ahead, mention it.
Shut your face. So they're talking right now. It's in the works. It's in the talk about rebooting Harry Potter franchise.
Boo!
Shut your face.
That's the first I heard of it. That's crazy.
It's the worst idea anyone. Warner Brothers has made no good decisions, and I can't, other than Game of Thrones, I guess. Because the House of Dragon was great, but that's the last good decision that Warner Bros. Has made, I think.
I think what a lot of them, I think they're struggling with the same thing that like Netflix and HBO, they're doing the same thing. How much money are you making? You're not making me enough. You're out of here. And I think that it's become a money grab game. How much we need to make the most amount of money. And once you make the money, you can afford to tell the stories you want to tell. Because now if you don't make $1 billion,
Right.
that's okay. Because we have these other things. And I think that Warner Brothers losing a lot of their rights to certain franchise and stuff really hurt them. Because Disney can afford to make whatever the heck they want to make.
Yeah, they're just going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, we got holiday specials nobody asked for.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them. I don't want to watch Star Wars characters with a force lit up tree. I don't care. I don't care. Guardians of the
Unless it's
Galaxy.
the
That's
80s.
nothing.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's so bad. It's
That's why
I
Boba
love
Fett's
it.
famous.
yeah.
Yep.
But like they can do that. But I think these other places that they're holding on by a thread. They have to make so much profit. And they are. I think that's the only reason. The only reason they're looking to make Harry Potter again, and according to all the critics, according to everybody, is because there's too much money left on the table.
Yeah.
But
There's already a fan base there.
You got a fan base. You have multiple amusement parks, and I mean it's not like
already big. It's already.
It's not like Disney where we have to add in multiple things to make a park. This whole park, Hogwarts, is awesome, and you've got adult fans who reread the books. Kid fans that are just now experiencing it. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was supposed to be their prize pony, and it just flopped.
Well, that's what we're. Let me ask you this: you're gonna go see those movies, right? If they make them, remake Harry Potter, are you gonna go see them?
I don't know.
Me neither. I don't think they're gonna make it 3 movies in.
So I think what made Harry Potter so successful. I think there's a number of factors that go into that equation. A good bit of it is like we've discussed before. She caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
She hit the best of all points. I think the fact that she had a really big role in it was a big key to that.
Yeah.
You had movies like Aragon. I'm a diehard Christopher Paolini fan. # Christopher Paolini. I know he's listening. But he got Aragon, phenomenal book series, and they made a movie, and they said, we're essentially just going to buy the rights from you. They did it with Percy Jackson. We're just going to buy the rights from you. You worry about the books. We'll make the show. And the movie was terrible. Terrible. You had dwarves that were, fantasy dwarves, normal people. You had elves, fantasy elves, no pointed ears. No nothing, just normal everyday people. And then villains that were villains in the book that were big villains. They're dead. Completely changed it, ruined the whole thing, and killed the project. And they're like, we don't know why this wasn't successful. You didn't listen to any of the source material.
It was a very different story.
Very different story. And I think with her, what made it so magical was they put so much into the set, so much into the scene, so much into all of that. I think if they went back and said, hey, we want to redo it. We want to reboot it. Do you want to come back on and let's build this together and let's try to do this again? And maybe tell a slightly different tale. Maybe involve some more side characters. I think it could be good.
Yeah.
Do I think they'll do that? 100% no.
No. Also, it's going to be a big bunch of actors standing in a blue room.
I think they won't go film on site like they did. They won't waste the money on that. I think they'll be like, look, we have all these shots from this other Harry Potter. Put them in there.
What do they have to... What do they have to do with... What are they going to do with it? As I don't understand. Like, what is there more to do?
You know what my biggest fear is it's going to turn into... I don't know if you guys watch any of like the That 70s Show reboot, the That 90s Show.
I haven't seen any of it.
They released a trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel the same.
Of course it doesn't.
But and the reason why is one is that when we watched that 70s show, all the kids looked 27 and a half.
Yeah.
They did.
Nobody,
except for
except for
Mila Kunis.
yeah, except for her. She was 14. Everybody else was like, I'm 16 with a beard down to here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that guy's not 16. Well, now Eric Foreman looks the exact same now.
Yeah,
he has
he
not
does.
aged a bit.
Yeah.
But the rest of them look like adults.
Yep.
They didn't look like kids. Well, now they brought in like actual kids.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a Disney, like one of those shows where the parents leave and a butler has to raise them and the kids are like disobedient to the butler. And the butler's
right.
like, oh darn, the kids built a rocket in the attic again. And that's what it feels like. And I'm worried we would get that as a Harry Potter. We wouldn't get the stern adults. We would get kids running amok and doing whatever they want to do.
Maybe.
And
I'll play devil's advocate because I did have this conversation recently that there are story elements that they left, that are obviously in the
Yes,
books
yeah.
Yeah.
that they could explore further. I
Sure.
never thought they explored Harry's grief when he lost.
oh,
I don't know if we.
Oh yeah.
well, we're
yeah.
spoilers.
Spoilers,
Yeah,
guys.
spoilers.
Spoilers for
Dumbledore's dead.
But
Yeah.
the way they explored that, I think in Half-Blood Prince, if I'm remembering.
Yeah, right after Sirius died.
Right.
Yeah, because Order of the Phoenix was an extremely dark
It was.
book.
Yes.
Everybody alienated themselves away from him. He
Mhm.
felt alone. He felt scared, and this only beacon of hope he has
It's that one guy.
is this one guy
His godfather.
that they are planning to live with. He's planning. He now has a focal point in his life to work towards, and
Boom.
oh,
And then in the next book, he's like, but I live in this magical world.
everything's fine.
Right? So, and there's all these ghosts, right?
Yeah.
So I should be able to still have relationship.
In the book, it was yes. It was in the
Yeah.
book. He was. I want to
getting
try to figure
chills.
out how to bring him back and how
Yep.
to do this. In the movie, they said you're back at school, everything's fine. Quidditch. Why are you worried
Yeah.
about death? Quidditch.
Yeah, but the whole first half of the book, if I remember correctly, was him just desperately hanging on to
What-
this.
What we
this-
can do, we can pause the podcast real fast, and I have the books. Why don't we just do a
Why don't we
quick
just
reading?
read
Yeah,
them?
we'll just spend the next couple of hours. Come on, guys, let's reminisce.
But I feel like that could be explored more.
Yeah.
Like actually take that moment where he kind of goes into the ghost world and
Yeah.
nearly headless Nick, our third Nick.
Which is a guest on our podcast, by the way.
Yes,
But yeah, I forgot. You're right. He has a conversation with him, and he explains to him how ghosts come to be,
right.
and that Sirius didn't stay.
Mhm.
Sirius went, and he's like, "Yeah, but did you even look? Did you Sirius? Did you go look for him a little bit more?"
Well, I seem to remember him saying like, "I'm not really Nick.
Yeah,
I'm a snapshot. I'm a moment in
Yep.
time of a horrific act that is stuck in time." And you wouldn't want that anyway.
We didn't
It's
have
just
any-
like these portraits.
Yeah.
But these are not really these people. This is a snapshot in time.
didn't have Quidditch.
Yeah. Yep, got to
Get
get
back to
Fun
Quidditch.
time.
Just went right back
Now-
to
So Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Mhm.
First one, loved it. Second one, meh. Third one,
What
Awful.
happened?
is terrible. I didn't.
What happened is they wanted to make a big, giant Harry Potter style story instead of making a story in the universe of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about Fantastic Beasts
Exactly.
and where to
And
find them.
find them.
It's in the name.
If I wrote that movie, it would have been about him having wacky adventures and fighting mustache twirling poachers.
Oh yeah, with really cool hats.
Yeah, that weren't literal Hitler.
yeah.
You know,
So dumb. Who should be a bad guy?
We had Hitler in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter can fight Hitler.
Now-
This guy needs to fight poachers.
One thing that I think that they're missing out on, and I think that they're choosing the easy way out, and you all out there in listening land can disagree. I think it's really coming into how can we make the most amount of money with the less amount of cost and the easiest. And the easiest thing to do would be to regurgitate what's already been successful and try to reproduce it again. Instead of telling the origin story of Hogwarts of the four founders coming together and building a freaking magic castle.
That sounds boring.
Yeah, that sounds dumb. Show me that. Show me them creating
Yeah.
like the first wands where beforehand they're doing just like hand magic or something, and it's very volatile and it hurts people, and so they got to find a way to focus it.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Give me original stories. But I think also part of the problem is they would have to go and say, J.K. Rowling, can we use your thing again? And can we tell other stories? Will you help us write that? And they hate her so much, they just refuse to use her. But I bet they own the rights. I didn't think about this. I bet the rights for Harry Potter are coming up.
That's probably why they're doing
because that's what they did with Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
they had to release a Fantastic Four movie,
or they made Fant Four Stick.
Yeah. So I wonder. We have cracked the case. Yeah. Good job, Sherlock Holmes. But I wonder if the rights are about to come up, and they either have to make the movies or give it back to her. And so they're like, we've got to try to make a movie and try to make a little more money off of this.
Well, that's the thing. They canceled the whole Wizarding World concept. They said they shouldn't have done that.
No.
They shouldn't have done that just because they messed up the one thing.
Show me the other schools.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Yeah, show me. Was it Durmstrang that were Victor Crumb in them? That was like a hard school.
Yeah.
Show me. We don't have students that we could trade for a little bit. Like, hey, you're going to go study abroad at Durmstrang for a season. That'd be some cool stuff to see.
Yeah, give me Dragon Hatchery. I mean,
yeah.
Give me them being Aurors and like solving magical crimes and like tracing down. You're watching wisps of magic disappear. And they're following the trail and trying to solve. Give me that stuff. Now I will say the best thing that came out of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Grindelwald in the first movie was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grindelwald, or I'm sorry, the second movie.
Yeah.
Where he's bringing out blue dragons without saying a spell, standing there with his hands, watching the best Aurors we have get obliterated like nothing while he's about to burn down, was it London or Paris or something? I think it was Paris. And he's just going, all right, guys, y'all want to come join me? Meanwhile, Voldemort's over there breaking a sweat trying to kill one kid. He's just like, why won't you die? This is too hard. But he's the greatest villain this world's ever seen. Not Grindelwald. Shush.
Yeah.
Shush. We don't like him. But I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic until they put something on paper. The moment they start saying, if they say we're going to do a complete reboot, new Harry, new everything, it's going to be trash. Because when you see Daniel Radcliffe, see Harry Potter. I watched.
Exactly.
Was it Woman in Black?
Yeah, I saw Harry Potter the whole time.
We were in the movie theater.
It's getting better.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
But this is the same thing that Mark Hamill faced. This is the same thing. People who do these monumental roles, you'll always see RDJ as Iron Man.
You will now. Yeah.
You will now. And the thing is and it must suck as an actor to think I've done 30 movies before, but everybody now knows me only as Iron Man. Chris Hemsworth has done a few other movies. He's Thor.
He's Thor now.
And you watch these characters. I watched, was it the 25th year anniversary where they released they brought a lot of the cast back and interviewed them. I think it was on HBO. It was like an hour and a half long special.
Oh, yeah.
Return to the Castle. And you got to meet, and a lot of the characters still look just like they did, and I see them. And so you're going to have people that are going to go and watch this new movie and immediately going to go, ooh,
here's the thing.
That's not my Harry. That's not my Ron. That's not my Hermione.
Yeah, they were so iconic, and they played them for 8 movies.
Yeah.
Watched them grow
Which
up.
is unheard of outside of horror. Watch these people grow up. They were the characters, basically. Seeing someone else get pointed at and go, that's Ron Weasley, will not make sense.
No.
I don't.
And like even watching the behind the scenes footage, because it was Emma Watson, right? Was Hermione, and what's Draco Malfoy's real name? I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I know movie names. Tom Felton. They were apparently really, really close, like best friends. And so watching them play and they're hugging and everybody's smiling, and you're just going,
no,
Draco Malfoy, get away from him. Because that's who
he's luring you in.
The guy that played King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Yeah. Quit acting, because he was like, I'd go up and people would just hate on you.
Yeah.
And I think people like me, I see that and I go, that's a good movie.
I spit on him one time just out of
when
spite. I saw him. Yeah.
This is for Ned. But I think people get so attached to these things and attached to movies and attached to this art that they can't disassociate. These are people pretending.
Yeah.
These are people pretending. You watch I know I send the interview every time it comes across my phone. Again, terrible with names. Guy that played Gandalf.
Ian McKellen.
Where he's explaining, they're like, how did you act? And he goes, I'm pretending to be a wizard.
Yes.
And and he goes, and Peter Jackson called me and I told him, I've never been a wizard before. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, But how do you do it? He goes, I see the problem. So I'm Sir Ian, action! You shall not pass! Cut! Sir Ian. But I think people see them and they're like, oh, it's Gandalf. That's you're not a person outside of this. But we'll see. I'm not even really optimistic about Harry Potter. I'm excited that the franchise is getting some love. I really wished we would have gotten a prequel.
Some things just need to end, and they're okay.
Endings for movies are the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
And that is what you take away from the movie. When you walk out of a movie theater, you walk out with the ending fresh. You remember the beginning a little bit, you remember the middle of it, but you remember the ending, and that's what sticks with you. And people are terrified to end things now because endings mean I can't make more money off of you. Hence, you went into Infinity War and Endgame, and you said Loki's dead. And we all went, Loki's dead? And they said, Loki's dead. And you're like, no, he's getting a TV show later on this summer.
Black Widow.
Yeah, she's dead. And we're going, no. And they go, don't worry, she's getting a prequel movie. Oh, she's fine. She's fine. And there's a multiverse now, so we're going to bring him back from other universes, and it's fine. And that's because we can make money off of this. We don't want it to just end. And I think that the era of one-off movies is gone.
Yeah, unless, independent films are still there.
Independent films is still thriving.
But as far as big movie, you're never going to have a... What was the last big movie that was just one movie? I would have said Avatar till a week ago.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Are you... All right. We're going to get into Avatar in just a second. Don't worry, we're going to get there. But big movie that was a one-off.
Let's see.
Because I'm actually, I'm drawing a blank.
Man.
I've seen movies that I...
Blade Runner? But nope. They made another Blade Runner.
Nope.
Everything's a franchise now.
Well, this is a reflection of the gaming industry, right? I mean, you can't get... I mean, it's so hard to find an original franchise that they just want to take... I mean, we're going back 20 years now, where, you get stuck on one game that worked, and there has to be 10 other games.
Rinse, slather, repeat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now, remember going back, this is for you young people, going back to like Nintendo 64, 90s, early 2000, when you went to Walmart or Target or wherever, they had 1 4-foot section of that system and its video games, and a controller and a TV to play. And then the next 4-foot section was the Nintendo section. 1 4-foot section, video games, controller, this. Now you walk in and there's 16 to 20 feet of games for one console. I haven't heard of 99% of them.
Yeah.
On the far left, you have your Marios, you have your Pokemons, you have your Call of Duties, and then the rest of it is just games that look like these games, that look slightly similar, same font, same kind of images. And they're like, oh, it's kind of like... Have you noticed when people describe movies and video games? How was the game? It's just like this other game. Well, then why would I play that game? Why wouldn't I just play the original?
Yeah. So that's the thing. You need to have a reason to have a remake, a sequel, I think.
Besides money.
Other than money. Like, I have this new idea I want to put. It would go great with this. Like, for a while there, every Zelda game was a pretty new concept.
Yeah.
For a while there. I mean, it was the same gameplay essentially, but they would add in something new, something that would make the game wholly different. Now
this is a concept that they do in games and they do in movies too. So we just got done completely blasting the idea of a Harry Potter reboot.
Yeah.
But digitally remastered games.
Oh, yeah.
Where they go in and take a game and they say all new graphics, same basic story. We added a few new things in there.
Sure.
But we were re-releasing the game, and then we go and buy them.
Yeah.
There is a case to be made about preservation in video games that way, because if you aren't ready to sail the high seas for old video games, some of them are impossible to play.
Yeah.
Unless the company decides to remaster them.
Yeah.
Unless you know a little bit about emulation.
Exactly. Unless you're ready to sail the high seas.
Yeah.
Go and be a freeman out on the ocean. And...
This is not my car.
Yar.
But no, you're right. I mean, that's just again, I think it's the love of obscene amounts of profit.
Yeah, it is.
Is making them not take chances on movies going bad. Mortal Kombat, great movie.
Wait, which one?
The first one.
Yeah, the original Mortal Kombat was a great movie.
Yeah. The next
The
one?
second one was not.
Well, let's think about this. What made Lord of the Rings great? Right? Peter Jackson
loved
loved the source.
Yes. But it was also, with Lord of the Rings, it was a complete idea beginning to end. He knew making the first one, he was going to make a third one,
Yes.
and he was going to end it.
And he followed
And
through.
it was a full thought. And I mean, you're also looking at, you've got source material, you've got tons of love and lore. I mean, I've got 12 books right up there that's all backstories to the Lord of the Rings, that just notes he wrote. So he had all of this and was able to pull it together and say, we're going to make 3 movies. Here's what we're going to do. Beginning, middle, end. This is it. Whereas the rest of them, they go, we're making a movie, beginning, middle, end. If it's good, we'll make another one. If it's not, we're done. And then it goes good and they go, we're making another one.
Let's keep going.
What's the plot? I have no idea.
No clue. Make something up.
Yeah. We know what we need? We need a famous person to come in and randomly be bringing. Marvel's doing that now. The show or the movie's okay. All right, add in one of the originals. Add in a big superhero now
Yeah.
to
Yes.
spice it
Someone
up.
literally walks in a door. Whoa!
Yeah.
You know?
When I haven't watched She-Hulk yet, but people go, She-Hulk's great. Daredevil's in it. I'm like, why did you need this? Why do you have to add all this in just to make it? And it's because we're lacking, I think, in depth of storytelling and trying to fluff over all of that.
It's moments. They're selling moments
Cool
of shock
stuff.
and surprise instead of things that, are
You ever gone?
encapsulating.
I know we watch older movies, but when you go back and watch an old movie, you have that scene where the camera zooms in on the person's face and you see pain and tears slowly fall down.
Yeah.
And they're selling it. You don't have that anymore.
No.
That is not a scene you see.
Do you guys remember earlier when I mentioned A24 and Nick was clueless on all the movies?
A20 Clueless.
This stuff still happens in A24 movies.
But compared to any of the big production companies.
No, but big,
Right.
but yeah, no, you don't get those.
Because indie films, you still get it in.
Yeah, of course.
You still, a lot of the straight to DVD, a lot of the stuff where they don't have these huge, we don't have to make $1 billion.
Mhm.
And speaking of making billions of dollars, Avatar. Avatar. Now, one thing we talked about beforehand was we talked about how The Matrix 2 and 3 came out back to it. They filmed it all together. That's apparently what they've been doing for the last 13 years.
Really?
Is filming Avatar 2 and 3. So three's done.
What?
It's currently, as it sits, uncut. With the CG, it's 9 hours long.
Whoa.
Wow.
But from what I read, they said they wanted to do the CG for the most part for the whole 9 hours, watch it in the 9 hours, and then cut it back. They didn't want to make cuts until they saw the story, so they could know what could they take out without ruining the story. But
That's
part
good.
3's done.
Wow.
Man, that's epic.
Now
It's
you got
James
you all
Cameron.
you all haven't
James
watched
Cameron.
Avatar.
No, I haven't seen the new one yet.
So we went and saw it due to some health restrictions. All Christmas plans, like 99% of my Christmas plans, got canceled. We had a family member get really sick, and we have a newborn, so we're not doing that. So we had nothing to do, and we've been home logged for 2 months with the new baby. And we said, let's go out, let's go do something. And I was like, nobody sees a movie on Christmas Day. And everybody I talked to were like, yeah, we used to way back in the day, but nobody does this anymore. So let's go see Avatar. So 1, I don't go to movies often because of that. But 2, it's like $80
Mm-hmm.
for me and my ragtag
It's
crew
It's an
of
event.
Yeah.
people. Because you're getting popcorn.
Yeah.
We all sneak in
If I
candy.
go to the movies, I'm getting popcorn.
Yeah, we all sneak in candy, sweets, and treats and stuff. But you don't sneak in popcorn.
No.
There's nothing that
No.
beats that buttery goodness with extra butter. Did I mention the butter?
Mm-hmm.
And you get the big soda, which is $14 for a soda that big. But we went and saw Avatar 3 hours and like 10 minutes or something. It's great.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It was.
Yeah, I was worried.
I've been waiting for a peer,
It was.
to tell me that it was good.
Now, the people that I know that have said it was bad, my first question is, did you like the first Avatar? And they said, nah, it was all right. And I said, then why did you
Why
go
did
see
you
the
go
second
see it?
one?
That doesn't.
I don't know. I like Terminator 2 better than the first Terminator.
Get out. just leave. Leave. But no, so, and that's what I always ask, like, did you like the first one? And if they say, man, if you loved the first one, I loved it. I thought the first one was great.
Mhm.
Yes, it's a retelling. Yes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's a good movie, though.
It's a good movie.
It's a good story. Yeah.
So your first, and this is going to be a little spoilery. So if you don't want to know anything, skip ahead like 10 minutes. We're not going to be on this long. I'm not going to tell all the big points to it. But so all your first questions are, why are we getting a second one? How are they going to do a second one? Why is this happening? Why do we need a big bad guy? Who's the big bad guy? Like what? All your questions are answered in the first 10 minutes. Very, very well done. So the movie starts.
Happens.
Yeah, then the story happens.
That's so good. That makes me so happy.
So the first 10 minutes of the movie, they sit down and they go, so where we left off, Sky people are getting kicked out. Na'vi are here. They burned down Home Tree, but we're going to rebuild. By the way, we now have 4 kids and we've time jumped. And it goes through a few things, and the planet's going great, everything's going great, we're jumping ahead, everything's going fine. And then they're laying down, and it looks like stars are falling. And they're all like, what are these stars falling? Well, it's these massive ships coming in with these huge, afterburners that are just lighting up the sky. When it hits the ground, it scorches the earth. And it's not like, we burned 20 feet. You watch 5 other home trees get wiped away instantly.
Oh my gosh.
All the forest full of animals, gone. Everything's gone. And it just and they're standing there just screaming as miles and miles is gone. And then time jumps a little bit longer, and they dropped a city on the planet. Not a few bunkers, not a big ship.
God.
It's a full working Atlanta, Georgia is on the planet now. They've got buildings and skyscrapers, and they've got trains, and it is a whole kit and caboodle.
You got a varsity.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? If you've never been, don't worry about it. And always get the hot dog extra chili.
Yes.
And then you find out that the big bad's the same big bad from the first movie. But what they had done is they took some of their DNA and sent it back home and cloned them into avatars. And so, but this guy's watching himself talk. And you're watching before they go into the battle, and he's like, if you're watching this, I'm dead, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't know. This is pre that movie Marine.
Whoa.
With a group of pre that movie Marine Na'vi. No more connection.
They just are.
They are.
Wow.
That's gnarly.
And so that's how they brought him back. And so he's like, all right, so we're just here to take out. And they go, well, you died. He's like, what do you mean I died? And he sees his death. And he sees who killed him, and he watches that. So that gets you into the big bad of it. But they're like a squad taking out trains for a little bit, and it's awesome. It is a lot of recon stuff. This is all first 10, 15 minutes.
Whoa.
And then they realize, look, we have to leave here. They're not going to stop hunting us. They're specifically hunting Jake and his wife and kids. So they leave, and we go to the island, Na'vi. And I was like, all right, now it's going to be a retelling of a story. Beautiful. Every bit, the graphics are 10 times better, as hard as that is to believe. You watch water droplets come off like their arm hair. One thing that was kind of weird, very early on in the movie, they go, look, we all speak Na'vi now. We don't even really speak English. So there's not a whole lot of translating. They pretty much all speak English throughout the entire movie because they're all Na'vi. So we don't have them speaking their language and then dubbing it over. But they're exploring the water. They're exploring new animals, new culture, just everything you got with the first time you're in the Pandora Woods, you get it again and better in the water. Nice. And it is I
can't wait.
I can't wait to see that.
It was great. And then the lead up for the third movie wasn't it wasn't forced. It was great. And the combat scenes are absolutely fantastic. Greatly filmed. One of the best reaction scenes I've seen of people reacting with emotion. Best. Like I said, we left the movie theater going, I could have sat for another 3 hours.
Wow.
And it's been a long time since I've sat 3 hours and 10 minutes through an entire movie with a bladder full of cherry Coke and shoving popcorn in my mouth as quick as my hands can go into it, and then said, I want to go again. Round it up there, film man.
Well,
Send it go.
I might actually go to the theater to see that then.
Great movie.
We'll go.
It was highly, highly recommended. Then we'll come back and we'll be able to talk about it a little bit. But one of the things that brought, with Avatar, like we said, waiting for a peer to see it, critics are absolutely, and I mean, if you're a critic, let me start off saying, don't get offended. I love you what you do, but you're useless. Is there a nice way to say that?
No, you're right. You're right.
Like, we remember Ebert and Roper.
Yes.
We remember. I never experienced this because we didn't have TV, but I would see it in shows where people would get the TV channel guide and would go, well, let's read the review before we invest our time into a show or something. Books do that. We have book blurbs on the back of a book that I flip and I read and say, do I want to invest my money, my time into reading this? And I would ask people, hey, you enjoy fantasy. As a fantasy lover, what do you think about this? And I would listen to him. But then other people would come up and be like, I don't like fantasy and that movie was dumb. You don't like the premise.
Yeah.
Why did you waste your time? Avatar got terrible ratings for the first little bit. People were like, oh, the movie's terrible. It's great. And now, it's funny, every week I get a notification where they go, shockingly, Avatar does okay in the box office, but it can't last long. And then it comes back, all right, it's about to make $1 billion in its first 2 weeks, but that can't last long either. And I'm like, when do you realize you're wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just saying stuff.
Yeah.
But Rotten Green, or is it Green Tomatoes?
Just Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Green Tomatoes.
Rotten Green Tomato. That's one of my favorite chick flicks.
Yeah, Rotten Green.
my
I'm
favorite
pulling
side
up
dish.
on my phone. I'm going to go to their website. Because a lot of people today will tell me, hey, you should see this movie. It got a 87 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like that alone, that's all I need to know is this magical score. So I Googled up and fired up the old Googler, put on my glasses and did one of these numbers. And said, best movies that came out in 2022. And immediately it said, you want Rotten Tomatoes. And they've got a whole best movies of 2022 ranked. They go through a quick thing talking about, we've been doing this since Scream came out. We're the topmost, whatever. Bunch of blah, blah, blah. Notice on the picture, the picture is Tom Cruise from Maverick. That's the picture. That's their headline picture.
Right.
Not the headline movie.
No.
Number 1, No Bears. Got 100 score.
Comment if you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I haven't.
I didn't.
Never even heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I'm sure it'll win Oscar
Number
for Best
one.
Picture.
That was number one.
Number one best movie.
And one of the things,
2022.
I'm not going to get too far into the movies, but one of the synopsis is it's a love story. So romantic movies, what they said was the best movie that came out last year.
Yeah.
Number 2, Happening.
Happening? I'm sorry. Wasn't there a movie called The Happening?
Yes.
That was an event.
Yeah, that was...
okay.
Wasn't
That's
that,
not
wasn't that plants?
Yeah.
Plans for
it was
making people.
planned.
Yeah.
Yes.
In groups
That's-
of 4 or more.
and
3
the,
you're
the
fine.
best acting I've ever seen is Mark Wahlberg just going, what? No!
Stay away from the plants.
But the number 2 movie that they said best movie, second best movie of 2022, the opening line for the critics consensus is a tough but rewarding watch.
And that just doesn't sound fun.
No, it's going to be a hard watch, but second best movie to come out.
You're gonna have to slug through it, but it's such a good movie.
Good
No.
movie ending,
Yeah.
apparently.
Number 3, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
I'm sorry.
What?
Is that a kids movie?
Wait a minute, that's a YouTube video, wasn't it?
What?
I don't know what.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Number 4, Girl Picture.
Never heard.
No.
Where are these movies?
Yeah, number 4, Girl Picture. Number 5, The Banshees of...
Inisherin.
Inisherin.
Yes, that movie I've heard of. Very good movie. That should be number 1.
All right, so that's number 5. Number 6, Till. Number 7, The Quiet Girl.
Nope. Maybe we're just uncultured swine.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that one to read.
Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the movie. Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen's an anime. It's really good anime. I believe that.
Ranked top 10 best movies
I believe it.
to come out.
I'm the anime guy though, so.
To Leslie, number 9.
Nope. Never heard of any of these.
Lunana, Yak in the Classroom. Number 10.
Okay.
Now, number
I'm
11.
sorry, is this global or are these foreign movies? I know
Are you making these up?
No.
Banshees of Inisherin's an Irish film, so
Right.
it's like, I understand.
That's the only one I've heard of.
Number
Yeah.
10, Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
12, The Duke.
Don't know that one.
Number 13, Hellbender.
Heard of that.
Number 14, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Did that come out this year?
Yes. According to this rank, hold on. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is ranked 2 higher than Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick on this critics group's best movie. Great Freedom, number 15, beat Maverick. Maverick, number 16. Let's see how far I got to scroll down.
To find something we've actually heard of.
I'm in the 20s. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, number 26.
Now that was a good movie.
Turning Red, number 27.
I like that movie.
Puss in Boots, number 29,
What? Hold on,
made
what?
the list.
Wait, hold on. They made another Puss in
They
Boots
made
movie?
another one.
Apparently, and it came out
Okay.
this year.
All right.
And that's the thing, I don't know any of these.
Okay, apparently we're not the authority on movies.
No, and I'm wondering, like, when they grade these movies. Oh, the Sea Beast, that was actually good.
Yeah?
Number 42. I don't know if you've seen
Oh, yeah.
Sea Beast.
No, I haven't seen it.
Cool story. They hunt down monsters in the ocean and they get like money back for it, and it's one of those Moby Dick-esque, but then you find out the monster's not really the
Look,
monster.
I have no
Yeah.
doubt. I have no doubt that those movies on that list are good. I have no
Sure.
doubt. Sure. But what I don't.
Why are they
Why are they the best
Yeah.
when no one I could even point to, and no one I know has seen those movies?
I mean, you're releasing movie, or I'm guessing, like, are you judging the movies on like these are movies you enjoyed? Like, where do you gauge the success of a movie? How much money it brings in?
Right.
How many people went and saw it? How many downloads? How many views? How many hours watched? What your rating is? You know, if you've got
Yeah.
more 5 stars. I mean,
How
like
many- Yeah, how many people in a Reddit group
Right.
talk
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Like
it?
let's say we go back in time to 2017. That's the year that Avengers Infinity War came out. Where do you think it's going to place on that list? Halfway down, not on it at all.
top 20
That
maybe.
has to be the best movie of that year, right?
Has
Do you
to
remember any other movie
No,
from 2017?
Nope.
No one's going to remember those movies.
and that's like
Except maybe Banshees of Inisherin. I think that's a classic instantly. It was
when
pretty
it
good.
comes to movies. Like if you guys had to roll back and you're sitting down, you have 2 hours to kill. What are you watching? Like what? Like if you had a go to, like, this is a franchise. I could watch a Marvel movie. I could watch, because you can't just say, you know, one particular Star Wars over
Yeah.
again. You're going to watch multiple Star Wars.
Yeah.
But if you if you're surfing through the channels and just looking for something to watch and this is on, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to actively watch this, not play on my phone.
Mhm.
What is that? What is your go to, or could be a go to movie?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
I knew you were going to say.
I know you.
By the way, there's a guy that I met at work. He might be listening. I think he followed us. Him and I were talking, and I asked them, a group, I said, "What's your favorite movie?" And he said, by far, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Who
He said-
was it? No, tell me later.
No, he was like, but the graphic novels were so much better.
Of course they were.
And he was like, but the movie did a great job with pacing for the first one, but
Yep.
sped through the other
Sped
ones.
through the other ones.
And I was like, you've got to meet Nick. This is
Yeah.
exactly what Nick said.
That's exactly right. And good news, everyone that likes Scott Pilgrim. They're making an anime adaptation of it
Yep.
for a TV series. So,
Trailer dropping next week. Movie or show comes out in 7 years.
yeah, exactly.
So
10 years. There we go.
But so like, so Scott Pilgrim? If it's on, you're watching.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, I get, like you were mentioning Pinocchio. I was prepared to play with my phone and watch YouTube videos while watching that movie.
Yep.
But that compelled me. Like, I want to watch it again. Rarely does that happen.
Now, so 90% of my energy is taken up with nerd fandoms and stuff like that. So, and you put a Star Wars on, I'll watch it. But there are a few movies that are not nerdy at all that if it's on, I'll watch. And that's like We Were Soldiers,
Oh,
Saving
yeah.
Private Ryan, Band of Brothers. I know Band of Brothers is a TV show, but it's
You can really actors in war movies. You really get to go
especially
into some stuff.
especially the World Wars. Like when you go through the World War II movies and stuff, those aren't movies I just can't play on my phone.
Mm-mm.
No, you got they captivate.
They're not
you.
like
Yeah.
watching. Yeah, it's
So if that comes on, I have to be careful with Band of Brothers because I'll stay up till 3 a.m. And my wife, have you guys ever seen? I think it's Monuments Man. I think we've talked
Yeah,
about it.
very good movie.
yes.
Phenomenal. Same thing.
I'm taking my answer back. My answer is Chef with Jon Favreau. That's
Such a
that's,
good movie.
That's my favorite movie that's not part of a fandom or nerd stuff.
Never even heard of it.
Oh, it's
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh.
You're not a culinary guy either, though, right?
No.
You really don't have to.
You don't have to be, but anyone that is would get hit way deeper in it.
Okay.
I mean, if you've ever.
But as a father to a son, it really...
Okay.
Or a man just trying to
It's
figure
so
what
good.
you are out. You know, it's... Yeah.
Yeah, a guy hitting right. I mean, that's the classic story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody that's up here. You know,
Yeah.
they think they're at the top. They hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
and then
And-
they work their way back up to figure out who they really are.
And the weird thing about that movie, all the conflict is over
yeah,
in the first 30 minutes.
Hmm.
And the rest of the movie is him becoming himself, basically.
It's very good.
Yeah,
But
if you
you're
want to
right.
Feel good. Yeah.
That's one of those movies that I caught. I think Amy was watching it,
Mm-hmm.
and
It'll
I
drag
walked
you
in,
You
and
can't ignore it.
I was prepared to do some work or do something, but I was compelled to watch it.
Now, one thing that you said that resonated with me, and let's be honest. We're going to be honest here. If you took all the time you watch movies and TV shows today, like your average time, let's say you spend 2 hours a day with watching a TV or movie, how much on average are you doing something else while watching?
Oh, 90% of the time, unless it really, really drags me in. I'm either looking at my phone, having a conversation, or
Playing a game,
playing
reading
games.
something, working.
Yeah.
Like I realized as you said that, you were like, "No, I play on my phone or I'm doing work," and I'm like, I do that all the time. Like, ooh, I want to watch this movie. Play.
Yep.
And then you only look up when something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they make movies the way they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I love this part.
Yeah,
and you put it down for a
exactly.
minute, and then you pull it right back up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
start reading the news.
My wife still just absolutely hates my guts because every time that our newborn wakes up in the middle of the night, she'll turn on something for noise, and she keeps turning on the director's cut of Return of the King.
Man, I will get sucked into that.
And I'll wake up and to the horns, and I'm like,
Oh, let's
"Let's
charge.
gotta watch this now." And then she'll be like, "You need to go to bed. You got to get up at work." And I was like, "You turn this on?" She's like, "I'll turn it off." It's too late.
No.
Too late. We're
It's too
watching
late.
it now.
We're storming. It's
load it
fight
up to do
time.
Yeah, I'm that way about Lord of the Rings movies. I get compelled.
Mhm.
I walk in. Honestly, Harry Potter movies too.
Yeah, I watch them every year. I never get sick of them.
No.
Yeah, I walk into it thinking I'm just going to put this up for ambiance, and
We did that. We did that at your house last week.
Yeah,
Put on Prisoner of Azkaban. We all just sat there and watched it.
Yeah.
It was-
you're in it.
And Prisoner of Azkaban is arguably the worst one in the franchise.
Come on, don't be inflammatory.
There's something about that movie though, and I it's either somebody's favorite or it's their work.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something very
I
Christmassy
think
about that.
my
one. I don't know
favorite
why.
movie in the Harry Potter is Half-Blood Prince, but I think Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one. From
Really?
from a cinematography standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, that's the best one.
And because you have
Like,
a time traveling
from-
element, and I'm always a sucker.
So I
any-
love time travel. I can't think about it because immediately I'll go, well, wait a
hold on.
minute.
Yeah.
There's a paradox here.
Yeah.
But so for me, you watch the first and second one, Chamber of Secrets. There is an innocency and magic to
Yes.
the world.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban, that goes away.
Yep, it does.
But then it starts to come
Yes.
back in Goblet.
It gets stomped on at the end of Goblet.
Then it gets stomped on at the end of Goblet. But then after that, you're immediately thrust into now we're darker,
Yeah.
and we're darker from Order of the Phoenix on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so it's weird because you go children, innocency, light, happy, fun movie to a little dark. We got a basilisk, but everything's happy and
Yeah, it's
and happy
still
music.
very-
And then Prisoner, it's like it dark,
Man.
and we end dark, and it stays dark. And then Goblet, World Cup, and everything's great, everything's happy, and then except bum bum bum,
Boy.
it was
The thing that wasn't supposed to happen
They dropped the
happened.
hammer.
So Goblet of Fire is my favorite book, and I would say Order of the Phoenix is a very close second for me, but Goblet of Fire is my favorite. But as an adult, I go back and watch it, and it's just it's comical to me when Harry Potter, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And then, like you're watching the scene, you're like, he's gonna die, and he's like, that's the rules.
That's just the rules.
He's
guys.
got to play or die, and they're like, "This is a school for children."
Like,
he's like,
who-
"Play
who-
or die."
Who made the rules?
What happens if he doesn't play? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's death.
It's the rules.
The rules are concrete, Albus. He has to-
But the rule about him not being in it wasn't concrete.
yeah, we broke that rule. You shut your face. That is just, oh man. But I mean, the whole Harry Potter franchise.
Harry Potter sucks. I don't like it anymore.
No, it's great. It does. None of it makes sense. Magic, time travel, any of it, science fiction and fantasy. If you think too hard about it,
Yeah.
it gets muddy in the details.
Yeah.
If it made sense, it would happen in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we were talking about beforehand, where I read the Inheritance Cycle, and I'm reading Inheritance, and we get to the big bad. Spoiler: Christopher Polini, you're great, but spoiler on this part. And we're talking about the big bad magic user, unlimited power, unlimited magic. Nothing is withdrawn from him. Immortality, everything. He can do anything he wants. He can manipulate the world around him. Some of the elves in that book series would actually change their appearance to make them animals because they were more in tune with that animal, so they would grow fur. And magic is unencumbered magic. And they're talking, and he's like, you've done evil, and you've killed countless. And he said, I spent the last 3 years, an untold energy, just stopping people from making fake money. Because with magic, you can just copy money.
Exactly.
Or make the illusion of money. And he's like, so I've spent 3 years of my life making sure this doesn't happen for the currency. And I stopped for a second. I was like, well, that's a good point.
That's good world building.
Yeah. And it takes you out of it a little bit because you're in this big climactic scene where, the Voldemort Dumbledore scene, and somebody just say, stop, I'm stopping counterfeit money. I'm stopping piracy. So it takes you out for a second. But yeah, you're like, this is good world building. And then I look back at Harry Potter and I'm like, oh, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just make infinite money?
Yep.
This doesn't make sense. So,
Nothing
Well, it's funny you mention that because I remember, watching I read the first book pretty much on bathroom time. I don't know. It's just...
we get personal
TMI.
here at the Nick Squared podcast.
No, but I would literally sit in there just, because I had 2 little kids, Ariel and Steven, running around like crazy, and it was the only place I could read.
Terrible children. Be honest.
They were horrible. But I remember reading it, and I remember moments thinking this, and then watching the first movie and seeing all that food appear on the tables.
Oh,
and I'm thinking, these people could solve world hunger.
They could.
Like nobody should ever be hungry. And then... But I do love the fact that J.K. did go in, and I don't remember which book it was, but we finally got to see how that all happens.
House elves.
Yes. So basically, slavery.
Slavery.
This was slavery.
How can we solve world hunger?
Through slavery. All he was doing was teleporting or repositioning the food from there below the dining area.
Oh, that's my phone. My bad. Shocker! We have jump scares on the Nick Square podcast.
But they were just moving everything from the kitchen up there, that they weren't magically creating food. Because I was like, wow, that's pretty fantastic. Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Right.
But they did, that there were limits to magic. And I do think that is good world building when you do show that there is a scope and that there is a limit.
There's a cost when there's a cost to magic, really makes it.
Now, even that, though, once you get to a cost in magic, and a lot of writing and a lot of fantasy and movies and stuff, they say there's a cost to magic. But then, 99 times out of 100, they find a way to get an almost unlimited source of energy.
Yeah. Or the chosen one doesn't have to.
Or the chosen one doesn't have to happen.
Yeah.
And that, for me, reading through Aragon, magic came with a cost. So if you wanted to move a mountain and you did a spell to move a mountain, it would cost the energy it would cost to move a mountain. It'd kill you. Mm-hmm. And then it got into a little bit. One of the fun things was it got into semantics and sentence structure, where if you drew the energy from something else or gave the energy in certain amounts, like if you structured and found loopholes in the wording, you could do a little extra magic. And then there's dragons, who are just magic.
Just magic.
And if you have a dragon, you have magic.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of dragons, a lot of magic.
Big dragon, big magic.
Big dragon, big magic. And then it was, well, I can just have this. So when you go into the last book, he's going into fights with the speed and strength of an elf, fighting humans, with wards that stop arrows from touching him. And you're reading this, and he did a great job writing the fight scenes. And he writes it up where it's like, oh, he might die. He's not gonna die. Spoiler, it's the first fight of the book, and he's the hero.
Yeah.
And he's floating into a fight scene with normal dudes with leather armor. And he's got a magical dragon sword that turns on fire, and he can cut through metal with it. Sounds like a lightsaber, but it's not. It's different. I don't know why it's different.
Trust me, this isn't a lightsaber.
It's not a lightsaber. But you get to the point where they're just going to magic their way out. And I mean, Harry Potter magicked their way out of a lot of stuff, but there's an innocency to it. And the real story of Harry Potter is not the magic. The real story is a young boy who lost his parents and grows up with that. And so she put a lot into that, which made a good story, and then built the world around that, which made a good world. Instead of just saying magic, cool. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Magic, cool.
Yeah.
We don't need word magic anymore. And I've heard people argue, well, they're all adults and really good at it. All of them?
All of them.
Because when I went to school, I wasn't the top performer. You had people who were top performers, and then you had me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be the guy over there, like was it Seamus in the first movie?
Blowing it up.
Just boosh!
Just constantly on
So-
fire.
No, we'll see what happens with stuff. I mean, I'm excited with movies. One thing I wanted to bring up was, movies used to be a big deal. Movie night.
Man.
Movie night at home was a big deal. Friday night, we're done with the work week. Dad's home, mom's home. We're going to put on a movie. And it was always an argument. What do we want to watch? I want to watch Lion King. Shut up, Nick. We're not watching that again. You've watched it 9 times this week. But we and again, showing my age, go to Blockbuster, grab a movie, grab some Mountain Dew, some popcorn, come home, have a pizza. And that was a time for the family to get together. We watched like Titanic on VHS when it was the two cassettes that you had to put in.
Yeah.
And we would sit down as a family, turn the lights off, get comfortable, watch a movie together.
Now I watch movies at 8 a.m. because I have every movie I could ever possibly want at my fingertips with a button.
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
But so now movies, it's not nearly as special, I feel. But also when my parents said, hey, or like when my dad said, we're going to go watch Phantom Menace. The family together, we're going to the theater, we're watching Star Wars, we're watching Phantom Menace. I looked forward to that. Tell the kids in class, like, we this weekend, I'm going to go see Star Wars with my dad, my mom, my dad, my sister. We're going to go watch Star Wars. It's going to be awesome. Now it's like, we're going to the movies. Oh, all right.
Yeah. Also, movie theaters just aren't as magical as they used to be.
Which is weird because they haven't updated since we were kids.
Right.
They still got
I wonder if I just got older or if there's something empty in them now.
So
like a shade has gone over them.
When's the last time you guys went to like Arbor Place? The mall
It's
with the big
been
theater.
6 months for me.
Oh, I don't remember where we went now. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I went and saw the Doctor Strange.
Ah, okay.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
At Arbor Place?
At Arbor Place.
So you walk into the kiosk, and at the front of it looks like it's 20 years old.
Yeah, 100%.
You walk around the kiosk. There's a little vintage arcade.
Yes.
It's very sad. Then you've got the giant line for concessions that has 3 people.
3
behind it.
people in it.
Then you have the abandoned thing over here to the right, like the big counter with the neon lights. It's just abandoned.
It's just nothing there.
Yeah, they haven't updated. It's still got the crazy
It
colors.
used to be like a coffee shop or something.
Yeah.
Over there. Yeah.
All like they refuse
Like I
to
said,
update.
it feels dead.
It
It
feels,
really does.
It feels
It
like
feels
they're-
abandoned. It
Yeah.
feels so
Yeah,
liminal.
it feels like you're walking through a carcass, basically.
Yeah.
yeah, like you're watching
And
the,
then you
the
have
death breaths of an animal just
Yeah.
watch one more movie, have some popcorn, and till eventually
When that place used to be packed, it was an event. It was
midnight
fun.
releases.
God, midnight releases of movies
Loved
were awesome.
the midnight. Yeah, you got all your friends together, and it didn't matter if you came there alone or with friends.
Yeah.
It was a
You
community.
would make a friend.
Yeah, you'd make
you
a friend
would.
at a movie,
Yeah.
a movie night.
You'd be high fiving all these people around.
Yeah, are you here to see episode 2?
Yeah,
It's gonna be better than the first one, right?
I remember we went and saw. We went and saw. I want to say it might have been Age of Ultron,
Yeah.
and jokingly, I had a Thor helmet and Thor's hammer. I was like, I'm going to bring. I had a Marvel shirt on that had the Avengers. We went to go see it. I was the most popular kid on campus. Other people in costumes. We were taking pictures. We met so many cool people, and I was like, "This is nice." Not
Yeah,
anymore.
we need that now.
No, you don't talk. We don't talk to people. We don't talk to strangers at movie theaters anymore.
No.
But we used to, and I feel like it
Used to,
used to
yeah.
be a big event.
Oh yeah,
Trailers were bigger.
Yeah.
Posters were a big thing. Now I'm always terrified when they say the movie comes out in a month, but the merch comes out this week because the merch has spoilers on it. Who's the big villain? I'm assuming that guy on the
That
T-shirt.
big evil guy there is
I'm
probably...
assuming that guy might be the villain. But I feel like movies were big things. So when we take the kids to the movies, we don't go very often because it's very expensive. But we try to make a big deal out of
Yes.
it. We try to, we go. This is not incriminating, but we go to a store that is not the movie theater, and we buy candy that's not movie theater candy, and then we sneak it in. Yeah.
Oh
big,
my gosh.
big guy over here. One time we went and saw, it was a couple of years ago. We went during our movie theaters locally do the summer blowouts.
Oh yeah, where they just have like
older cartoon
Yeah,
movies for
dollar
kids.
movies for the kids. Yeah.
So we went to go see like Detective Pikachu. Great movie. Phenomenal movie. Loved it. And we went to go see it for like the fourth time. And it was $1 that day. So we went to go see it. And I had some candies and stuff. And we ran into people from my church that were bringing their children and
And we
grandchildren.
were like,
And they sat right behind us. And they know who we are.
right,
We
you're
know
a
who they
leader in
are.
the church.
Yeah, they're leaders in the church. We're leaders in the church. And I'm looking at them. They're looking at me. And I just go, you know what? I open up my bag, hand up my candy, and I feel a tap on my shoulder. And I look back, and they've got their bags open. And they're like, we've got carrots and pretzels and chips and candies. So we all started trading. I was like, okay, it's not just us.
I don't think it's that big of a thing anymore.
No.
I mean, I
It's
still wear
fun.
cargo pants and shove the
Yeah.
2-liter coat.
And no one that works at that theater is going to say,
No.
I know plenty of people that worked at movies. No one is going to go, excuse me?
Excuse me.
Get that out of here.
Now,
no one's going to
we found a cheat code at Arbor Place. So Arbor Place is a movie theater in a mall with a
Yeah.
food court. Can't bring food into the movie theater. You can bring food court food
Yep.
in a bag.
Yep.
So we would go to Sarku and get
Yeah, just a nice
Food
plate.
by-
Teriyaki
food
chicken.
by the pound.
Yeah, food by the pound, get a couple pounds
Yeah.
of rice, teriyaki chicken, vegetables,
just have a
and tie it
heap
in the
of
bag and
food.
go, and they'd go, oh, it's okay. And we'd get that seat where the wall is, and I'd open up, and I've got a drink, and we're over there just eating dinner, watching a movie.
The key is, if you want to bring something into a movie theater, look at who's at the ticket counter. If they're leaning,
You're good.
you're good. They're not going to
Yeah.
say anything.
I will say this as well. One, I'm a stickler, and I will get upset with people and refuse to go out with people. Like, I have a hard time going out with people who will leave large messes
Oh, no. Yeah,
at
that's
restaurant.
rough.
Like, Amber and I will break our tables down. We'll stack all of our cups and stack all of our plates. We'll wipe it down. Yes, they're still going to sanitize after us, but it costs me 30 seconds to make somebody's life a little bit better.
Yeah, and cleaning a movie theater is
It's hard.
hard.
So I've seen people that'll just leave it on the floor. Somebody will come and get it. I can't stand when people do that in stores. If you're going into the movie theater and you're sneaking stuff in there, that's fine. Just take the trash out and put it in the trash when you're done.
Yeah.
The Carrollton
Just
Theater.
don't suck.
When they
When
they first opened, I'm talking about this was like the first couple weeks they were open. I was so excited that we had a theater again, and that anyway. So I'm sitting there and I'm hearing these young fellas behind me, probably 13, 14-year-old kids, and you could just hear. I mean, they were throwing popcorn, they were doing all kinds of stuff, and when it's all over, I'm standing up, I'm cleaning up my trash, and they have destroyed their row, destroyed it, and I'm like, nope. I said, this is a brand new theater, guys. I mean, seriously, like, I'll go stand at the end of this row. You're not leaving
good.
until all that's picked up.
And the thing that people don't understand, because I just assume that they don't think more than 3 days ahead. I'm getting mad about these people. Is they will sit there and they will destroy things, and they're the first ones to complain. Why don't we have nice things in this town?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you destroyed it.
And that was my point, John. I said, guys, this is our community theater.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and one day you'll be out there working at that counter.
Yeah, at least one of you will.
Yeah. And they're going to call you to come clean up some little punk's crap and just clean up.
Not only are you inconveniencing people by just destroying theaters, but then you're also going to raise the prices.
Yep.
Because now we got to pay more people to clean the theaters, or we're just not going to clean them. And so your
Then
theaters
you
are
have a
going to be
dirty theater.
nasty, and they're going to get shut down for cleanliness. Or they're going to turn around and say, we're going to be the first theater in America that you're not allowed to have food and snacks in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to go, well, this is ridiculous. Why are they doing that? Because you destroyed it.
Because we don't want rats in our movie theaters,
Yeah.
and it's your fault.
Yeah, and it just kind of ruins the experience for other people when they come in and their feet stick to the floor. And
Yeah.
There are certain things I expect. I expect a little sticky floor.
Yep.
But when I watch people will eat candy out and then take the wrapper and then crumble it up, and even
No,
leaving
sorry,
it in the
Bob.
cup holder, take it with you.
Well,
Clean
I've
up
got
after
in the
yourself.
habit any buckets that we see, we just go ahead and pick up.
Yeah,
And it's just as easy to just put it in our bucket and
2
carry it
seconds.
on out.
Takes 2 seconds.
And I try to do that in front of the people that just stood up and are
Yeah.
obviously going to leave
Now
it there.
I almost died in Iron Man 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was almost killed watching Iron Man 2.
What?
Okay.
So we go to see Iron Man 2, opening day, movie theaters packed out. And I'm with at the time I was with my best friend. We referred to him as Big Chris or Bear, or he called himself Chocolate Thunder.
Nice.
So he was a little bit shorter than me, 300 plus.
Wow.
Big boy. big, full of life, loud, just the life of the party anywhere you went. Wonderful, wonderful. He's in all my wedding photos. We named Ezekiel's middle name is Christopher, named him after him. Best friend. In some of my wedding pictures, he's picking me up like I weigh nothing. Like he's just a big, larger than life. So we went to go see Iron Man. We're both big Marvel fans. We're sitting there. The lights are on. The screen is off.
Okay.
Pre-movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Free game, right? Rules of conversation are allowed.
Right.
The movie hasn't started. So we sit down. Everybody's funneling in because it's opening day. So everyone's trying to get their seats. We got popcorn. And he looks at me and he goes, well, what do you want to do after the movie? And I said, well, we can go to this. We can go to this. The mall actually had variety in stores back then.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't all teenager clothing shops trying to make teenagers look like they're 37. So we were talking about like we're going to go do a little shopping, maybe hit up a Best Buy because Best Buy was still relevant. And this guy in front of me, and I can see I could paint you a picture. He had a black leather jacket on, and he had an Iron Man t-shirt. Maybe $1.10, $1.15. Big old, my people, big old glasses, ginger, and he slings around in his seat and points a finger at me and my friend Big Chris and say, how about you guys figure out the itinerary after the movie? Just like that.
That
and
is awesome.
Turns around and the light is still on.
Right. Nothing's happening.
And I'm very like, hey, you know what? I want to be, we are in a public setting. I want to be respectful of other people's. So I was like, hey.
So you brained them.
No. So I'm going like, look, we'll be respectful. And I say, all right, we'll talk later. And Chris isn't looking at me. Chris is staring holes into the back of this guy's
This is
head.
Chocolate Thunder.
This is Chocolate Thunder, and the storms are brewing. and so as Chocolate Thunder is staring at him, this fool who just yelled at us is sitting right in front of us. So the entire movie, Chris has got his foot on the back of this guy's seat, and the movie theater is packed. So he waits till the movie theater's packed.
Oh man.
And so the guy is just lurching forward, and he realizes with the ferocity that he's being thrown forward that this is Chocolate Thunder behind him.
Right.
There's nothing he can do. He's not actually Iron Man.
Yeah.
He can't stop it. And so Chris was like, let me have some popcorn. I'm like, okay, give me a handful of popcorn. We go, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
and the whole movie, and that guy's just sitting there.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah. And then afterwards, we talked. We cleaned up. Afterwards, they actually had a conversation about it, and apologies were said, and everything was fine afterwards. But for a minute,
Best case scenario.
yeah, and it honestly it worked out. It was rough on both sides, but afterwards, like, because the guy was like, "Yeah, that was really rude," and I'm over there going, "Yeah, it was." And Chris is going, "Well, you were rude to us." I'm like, "Well, yeah, he was too." I don't want to fight. I don't want nothing to do with this. But
I agree with everyone.
yeah, I agree with
He
everybody.
reaches into his trench coat.
Yeah. But you know, I'm here to watch Iron Man, guys.
I know. Yeah.
Just here for Iron Man.
Yeah.
But no, and that was one of the least enjoyable film I've ever seen, because I spent the whole time going, is this going to boil over into fisticuffs? And I'm going to have to defend my honor, and this is the best fighting stance
You
I
have to pull
have.
a George Costanza.
As a skinny guy myself, I've learned to be non-confrontational in most public settings.
Yep, and like I said, it worked out fine. But and even after that, I'm a stickler. If my phone goes off, I don't want a bit of light to show, because I'm trying to be conscious of people around us.
Right. No,
Everybody
I'm with you.
spent money to watch this movie.
Oh yeah, I make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, like I'll borderline turn phones off.
Yeah, I suppose I'll leave it in my car.
Because I hate telling, like, hey guys, we're going to go see a movie, just walked in, 30 minutes later, well, how is it?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. And so,
That's crazy.
like, I don't go to movies without my kids most of the time, because I don't want, if somebody has my kids and they text me, oh, something wrong.
Yeah.
Do I need to get out of here? Like I said, worst, I thought for sure we were about to have a huge fight. I thought for sure bad things were coming. It all worked out. Like I said, we cleaned it up. They shook hands and bonded over it, and we laughed leaving. But after that, I was like, we sit away from people. You can't be around people.
I'm telling you, really, this culture where we're at right now, nobody has any patience.
No.
A lot of people are packing, so you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't even need a permit to conceal carry in Georgia anymore.
What could
Really?
be, yeah,
That's yesterday,
right.
day before yesterday.
What you could do normally, which is defuse through humor or what, it's
Now you can
harder
do it
to
through
do
fear.
now. People are just so offended.
Oh yeah, and working with the public, you get people who are irate, and we try to defuse. And there's been times where people will verbally and physically assault me at work, and I'll say, "It's time to go. Let's do this. Let's handle this." And then somebody will go, "Minimum wage," and I'll go, "What am I doing?
Yeah.
This isn't my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't get paid for this.
Exactly.
Have a wonderful day. Take your
Yeah.
10% off. I don't give two
Whatever.
rips."
Yeah.
And they go, "You let him take 10% off. I don't care."
Not 10% for me.
Yeah, he didn't take
was-
10% of my body mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth that 10%.
Take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just be
I
done.
just
I don't
paid
know.
it off.
We
I
work with a
paid it
guy that would pay the guy 10% to get into a fight with him.
Oh my, yes.
Yeah.
'Cause you're on film. You just mouthed his name like we're not on
He
camera.
doesn't watch this.
He doesn't watch this. We're not Punisher right now.
He
Or
got
Conor
bored
McGregor.
an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. But no, movies have been a big part of my life. Seeing properties become movies that I have read and going, I'm going to get to see this. Oh my
That's cool.
goodness. And then watching it. And sometimes it's done really well, sometimes it's not. But even the fact that other people, that proves to me that other people bought this book. It'll say like New York Times bestseller, sold 1 billion copies. But in my mind, I think I'm the only one that read Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go and I'm like a theater full of people with Harry Potter shirts, and I go,
Yeah.
this
Yep.
is okay.
Those are my people.
Going to Disney World and going and seeing the Millennium Falcon for the first time, I teared up, and I'm looking at it, and you're listening to the sounds of TIE fighters, and people are pushing around droids as they sweep up in full costume. So immersive. And I'm trying to hide it a little bit. And I'm like, this is a Millennium Falcon. This is a life-size Millennium Falcon. And then some other guy, I look over, and there's another guy with his family, and he's wiping away.
Yeah, I
too.
mean, it's
and
magic.
And I'm not alone. And I'm looking around, and my son's going, "This is cool, Dad." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is. This is okay. It's all right."
That's wonderful. I mean, when you can still tap into that
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
this
when
world.
you can have wonder and
But
really enjoy things with other people.
yeah, and movies used to be that, and they still are. And I'm trying to hold on to that. I'm trying not to go to the movies every weekend and dilute it to where it's just a thing we do. But we're going to end on this because just as wonderful as that experience was, it was ruined by a Karen. So we're in line for Rise of the Resistance, and this is when Rise of the Resistance first opened up. And for those of you who don't know, Rise of the Resistance, to get on, you had to get a boarding pass. And so you have to be on property, somewhere on property, at like 6:45 in the morning. And you turn your phone on, and you had to have the Disney app, and you had to go to a boarding pass, and it would say, do you want to select, Rise of the Resistance? It was the only option, but they still had that as a
Right.
queue. So you click it, and it would say, not open. And then what you would do is you would scroll through, and you would refresh. At 7 a.m., they would say, we're allowing 5,000 people to ride this ride today. There's 50,000 people, I don't know what the real numbers are, who want to ride the ride. May the odds be ever in your favor. And so the first time we went to Disney, we actually didn't get to ride it. So because we refresh, gone. Yeah, I mean, within 10 seconds, it says booked out. And then it would reopen at 1. If they had openings, they would reopen at 1 with the remaining tickets and do the same thing. But you have to be on property, or you have to be in park. You have to be on your phone. It's all the stuff you had to do. So we talked to an IT guy, and the guy said, the second time we went, he goes, let me tell you the trick. Get off the Wi-Fi. So stay off the Wi-Fi. Uninstall the app. Reinstall the app at like 6:30 in the morning. He said, get a fresh app, get off the Wi-Fi, and go. Just make sure you have a good cell service, because it'll gum up the Wi-Fi with everybody refreshing, and you'll just bypass them.
Oh.
And so we got in. First time, we said, bloop, we're all laying in bed. We had a family that was with us was on the other side or on another room. We had the door open. 6:40 in the morning. We're all in our pajamas. Refresh. One eye still crusted clothes with pixie dust. But we got it. So we are pumped. But we got it for like 3 in the afternoon. So you get all day. You're going to Rise of the Resistance. So you like 30 minutes before, you have to go and get in line, show them your boarding pass. Then they let you wait in another line. Then you walk through the ride. Then you get to the ride. And it's all like everything's behind closed doors. Very, very secret. So we're pumped. I just bought my lightsaber. We are just Star Wars sensors going are overloading. And we go to get in line, and this old couple walk and cut in front of us. just she's in like one of those little ride-on things, and they just walk right in front of us. And the guy says, "Yeah, you got your boarding pass." And she goes, "What's a boarding pass?" And they go, "You have to have a boarding pass to get on this ride." She goes, "I paid my ticket." And they're like, "Well, no, it's something different." So they obviously they don't have a boarding pass. So they step them off to the side. We're going through. We're trying to take pictures. They've got memorabilia. They've got life-size props. There's X-wing, all kinds of cool Star Wars stuff. And I just hear them screaming the entire time. "You all think that people care enough for Star Wars to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get your stupid boarding pass?" I mean, berating the Disney employees. Meanwhile, saying Star Wars is dumb and arguing for why they should get on the Star Wars ride. And like, we want a refund. We want managers
No
are getting
self-awareness.
Yeah, managers, and we're trying to usher away because I just don't want to hear it. I want to hear TIE fighters.
Right.
I want to hear X-wings. I want to hear the fuselages and stuff. I want to hear this, and I'm hearing this lady scream how dumb Star Wars is. Now let me on that Star Wars ride, you, and just completely put a dampening. It's stuck in my memory bank now. My first time riding Rise of the Resistance was amazing, but I will always have that little couple screaming about how stupid we were and how stupid Star Wars was. But let me on the ride.
Do you think, as baby boomers, move on to the great beyond, that maybe we'll have less of that in our society? No, you think it's going to be a thing forever?
So much more.
I don't know. People didn't used to do it.
They didn't used to do it, but now look at the way society is now. People want what they want, and they want it instantly.
I guess you're right.
We said patience is no longer a thing we see. I think it's good. Now, I think there's going to be a vast majority of society are good people. Vast majority.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that go completely unnoticed. The screaming people at the front are the ones that get all the attention. So I think the vast amount of society are going to be okay. But now you have people that are breaking open milk jugs for video content.
Yeah, you're right.
It's no longer I'm mad. It's I want people to like me on social media. Let me make a mess and ruin everyone's day and cost this company money and time to clean this up. Ha ha ha, like and subscribe. Speaking of which, don't forget to like and subscribe, Nick Squared Podcast. I have been Nick.
I've also been Nick.
And I'm Jay.
And we'd like to say, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.